IDnow is a identity verification platform. We verify players in all sorts of markets. We verify them through different methods, whether that is automated verification or whether that is an example face-to-face verification, AML checks on top of that as well. And we have been working with clients now since 2014, and every year there seems to be a new trend, and we obviously follow and try to make it as easy as possible for operators to onboard their players.
Speaking about that, how important is a frictionless ID verification for the end user, and what effects does this have on player retention for the operator as well?
Verifying players is really, really important, and you want it to be as frictionless as possible. However, it's a really big, balancing act, because in the end of the day, you have to look at it in a way where you are onboarding players, but you obviously want the good players to come through and not the fraudsters and not the bad ones. So, when you're balancing friction against security, sometimes it can become a challenge. So it usually is a journey that you take. So you have a starting point, and then you get to a really good point. I mean, it will never be perfect, but we can do as much as possible and really optimize it in a way where it is really easy. So frictionless is a really big topic, because you don't want players to to drop out of your process because you have that many competitors as an operator. You really need a way to onboard your players in a way that is really simple, but then secure, so fast and secure. You have to really balance that in order to be successful.
How does IDnow achieve that? There's it's very difficult, I'm guessing, to balance sophisticated AML checks and making them as simple as possible. How does IDnow do that?
It's a lot of work. So I'm just the sales guy here. I'm bringing the platform to operators and speaking to them. But the team behind it is really the one that make it work. And we have experts here that focus solely on documents that have backgrounds, working for government, working with even the companies that create the documents. So those are the guys that really focus in a way that we know how to check a document in a fast and efficient manner, and also in a secure manner. And then we also have, let's say, the machine learning side, the product side, where we have to keep on with the trends that are there. We need to also make it really easy to integrate the product at the same time. So for us, it's really a learning curve. Whatever a new regulation comes in, or a regulation gets updated, we need to be on top of that. So also, following the regulation in every market is also really important. So we depend also on the input of regulators, an example, in order to bring that solution to the operators. Because in the end of the day, as a supplier, our job really is to make it as easy as possible to be able to work in whatever market you are in. And obviously, some of them, an example, are, let's say, your typical ones like the UK, for an example. You've got your new regulations in certain markets, like an example Germany or Netherlands, or whether that's Ontario, an example. And then you get into also regions like LATAM, where obviously you are dealing with so many different cultures. Like Brazil has all sorts of different states, different mentality, and it really is for us to learn from those people, because in the end of the day they work with end customers the whole time. So we really actively seek the conversation to operators in order to be better, and also at the same time to be able to support them wherever they go.
Moving on to a more niche market, more new emerging one. Let's talk about the metaverse. How prominent do you think the metaverse will be for the iGaming sector in the future?
I think it's just only a matter of time where the metaverse will become, the biggest revenue stream that operators will have, because we are now creating, or we're talking of something that is a virtual world, and the cost is actually keeps going up, because companies really see the value, how they can reach people, different age groups in a really modern way. So the metaverse will be super important. So any operator out there, and I've heard already, from many, they're essentially researching now. Okay, what can we do? How can we get better as a company? How can we innovate also through the metaverse? Because a lot of things will come from the metaverse that we might also implement on, let's say, our normal, like let's say smartphones, or whether that's on desktop PCs as well. But the metaverse as a whole, let's put it this way: if you're not really already researching the metaverse and how you can work with it, you're going to be so far behind. And whoever does it right, first of all, is going to profit from it massively. And I think also blockchain as a technology as well is very interesting, because you can do a lot of different things in games as well. The way slots work, an example. So it will be super interesting to see.
But in terms of, for example, AML and KYC checks, you mentioned the blockchain. Do you think the decentralized nature of this whole ecosystem is going to be a problem to implement such measures, to do your job basically in the metaverse?
I mean, to be honest, it could actually help all of us, because if you look right now, we do so much online in the virtual world, right? We do everything, but we do not have a virtual identity. So let's say the usual way of identifying people is every time you check a database, you check the document, an example, and you but it's like a check every time, right? Actually creating a digital identity, which is obviously then based on blockchain technology that me and you, we as people would own on our mobile phones, and every time you have to verify your age, you can just reuse that, right? So even for us suppliers, it would be good, because it helps the whole operation and makes everything a lot more faster, scalable, and really better, right?
I tried to point you in the other direction, but you seem a firm believer in the metaverse. Don't you see any drawbacks from it?
For me, right now, there is a lot more positive outcomes from this than negatives. But and I mean, I said that in an article earlier in the year. Those metaverse creators, they have to make sure that there is the verification of people, and that we make sure that people are accountable for their actions online. And obviously things been happening on social media, with people getting bullied, and it's all anonymized. I mean, in the end of the day, you should be yourself in the meta world where the metaverse, where we all. We can all, let's say, we know each other, and that's we don't get into those things.
And what can we expect from IDnow in the coming year or months?
I mean, first of all, what we're doing is, we're working, very hard to again have the most, secure, but at the same time fast and efficient, verification methods for every market there is. So an example, we are innovating heavily in Germany with a few initiatives, which is also a digital identity that you will be able to own on your phone yourself, and that you will be able to use, obviously, as well, to verify yourself with various different operators or fintechs, etc. So it really is to create a digital identity. But also at the same time, looking at the market and seeing, hey, how can we bring even more value to our customers, to the operators? How can we make their lives easier, even more, and just to, stay on top, have fun in the industry, be with some, really good friends and colleagues, etc. And to make the connected world a safer place.
Roger, thank you very much. Looking forward to seeing you at the next event.
Indeed. Thank you.